But I digress here. We can. It is March Madness. The tournament kicks off third. Well, actually, it kicks off. It's already kicked off by the time you're going to be hearing this with the first 4 games over in Dayton. A little bit disappointed we didn't get an all Patino matchup in Dayton. I thought that would have been a great way to kick off the 2024 NCAA tournament, but there's always next year. So, guys, we've got the East, West, South, and Midwest brackets here. I think we'll start here in the top in the East, and we'll do our Elite Eight matchups to each one. I'll do the East, and then you guys do your East, and then we go down to the West, so on and so forth, yada yada yada, to quote the great Seinfeld show here. And we'll get her started. In the top, UConn versus Stetson. I feel sorry for Stetson. This is going to be like, maybe they cover. I don't even know what the spread is, but bet UConn. They're going to come out ready to roll. Florida Atlantic, Northwestern. Florida Atlantic, a Final Four team, which is interesting because in the East region, we have 3 of the 4 Final Four teams that are in from last year's tournament in the East region. Florida Atlantic been a little bit of a disappointment this year. Not as great as we thought they were going to be. Early when the season started, there was talk of them going undefeated, being the 2014 Wichita State team, but still found a way in the tournament. FAU, I like them to advance to the round of 32. And then San Diego State versus UAB, the runner-up from last year. I like San Diego State to advance. Auburn versus Yale. Poor Yale. They may be smarter than the people in Auburn, but they are not better at basketball. BYU versus Duquesne. And this is where I have my first lower seed winning. I like Duquesne, who is coached by LeBron's former high school coach, whose name is escaping me. I like them upsetting BYU, and Duquesne making it to the winning a game in the NCAA tournament. 3 versus 14 matchup is Illinois versus Morehead State. I like Illinois. I don't think there's much of a game there. Washington State versus Drake. Now, both teams I thought could be making a deep run, but one of them is going to come to an end early. In the end, I like Washington State a little bit more. They're senior-led deep guards here. That's what gets you deep into March. I like the Cougs to advance. And then we have Iowa State versus South Dakota State. A little bit of a teacher versus student matchup as Iowa State's TJ Otzenberger, former South Dakota State head coach, goes up against his old team. With all the auto bids kind of being stolen, that actually pushed South Dakota State up to that 15 mark, and it still is I still think there's a potential Iowa State wins, but it's going to need or South Dakota State wins, but it's going to need a special performance from one Zeke Mayo, and I think Iowa State knows that, and they're going to lock him up, and I like Iowa State to advance. And then in the round of 32, UConn FAU, and we were 2 seconds away from from that being the matchup in the NCAA title. I think FAU gets their shot at him, but it's not going to matter. UConn rolls. San Diego State Auburn. This is a game too. I like the way Auburn is playing right now. They seem like a team that if they were not in UConn's region, I probably would have picked them to make it to at least the Elite Eight, depending on who they play in that matchup to advance to the Final Four. But I like Auburn to beat the Aztecs. Duquesne versus Illinois. I like Illinois to roll. And Washington State, Iowa State. I'm rolling with the Cougs again. I think Washington State upsets Iowa State. And then in the Sweet 16, we got UConn versus Auburn. I like UConn. It's still just a machine that's chugging along. I think Auburn is going to have to shoot the lights out, similar to what they did back in 2016 when they made, or 2019 when they made that run to the Final Four. And then Illinois, Washington State, I think the Coug Magic, I think that runs out, which sets up an Elite Eight matchup with a chance to go to Arizona, Phoenix on the line between UConn and Illinois.
All right. feel like we have a lot of the same picks. I'm not going to take Stetson. That's just not going to happen. UConn goes. They destroy them. FAU Northwestern. I really want to pick Northwestern, but they haven't been there very much. Boo Booey will probably be the best player on the court that day, but they're hurt. They have a lot of guys out right now. I think they're down like 2 starters. Florida Atlantic's been there. They've done it. They did it last year. They have that experience. They have the Final Four run. So I'm going with FAU. Kind of a little bit of the dark horse. I think you might actually see a lot of people pick them over UConn, but they're stupid. San Diego State over UAB. Too good defensively. Mountain West was probably a top 3 conference all year. Auburn, Yale. Like Dylan said, the nerds will lose. BYU, Duquesne. I really don't know why Duquesne is an 11 seed. They had a net 60, I guess, spots worse than New Mexico, who was an 11 seed. So make sense for me. So BYU rolls in that one. Illinois destroys Morehead State. I picked Drake last year. I'm sticking with them. They damn near pulled it out, so we're going to go with them over Washington State. And then Iowa State, South Dakota State. If there's one game where people know what they're going to be doing, the other team, this is it. I just think Iowa State has a little bit too many athletes, too good a defense, so Iowa State's going to win that one as well. Go back up to the top. I have UConn over FAU. I just don't think FAU's got the kind of the fight they had last year for whatever reason. They really haven't been nearly what they were last year, which is odd considering they returned everybody. San Diego State over Auburn. I really don't think Auburn is as good as a 4 seed. They've had a good ending to the year. They did not start out well. So I really do like San Diego State defensively, being able to shut them down. Illinois, BYU. Illinois can put points up with anyone in the country. They are unbelievable. Terrence Shannon might be the best player in the tournament, so it's hard for me to pick against them. So Illinois wins, and then Battle of Des Moines area, Drake, Iowa State, and we're going Iowa State gets the win in the, I guess almost across city, not quite, about 45-minute drive. But that's gonna be crazy. That's a really weird regional.
Oh, that's in Omaha too. So that's gonna be.
You're gonna get a lot of Jax fans. You're gonna get a lot of Drake fans. You're gonna get a lot of Iowa State fans. So that'll be a very, very fun atmosphere at that game. Go back up to the Sweet 16 here. I got UConn beating San Diego State in a rematch of the title game last year. San Diego State does not get their revenge. And then I have Illinois knocking out Iowa State. I think their offense is still too good, even though Iowa State is a top 5 defensive team this year. They have too many athletes, too many mismatches. And I don't know if anyone outside of Houston is going to be able to contain Terrence Shannon or really anyone on the whole Illinois offense.
Granny, you're up.
Yes, and then Dylan, I might need some help with you because I don't have a physical sheet in front of me for my picks, but I do remember who I picked. The first one, it's simple. UConn, they're the best team. Stetson, congratulations, but go home. Get the hell out of here. I think FAU over Northwestern. I think Ethan's right. I think FAU finally turns it on from where they were. They got to the tournament again. I feel like they're going to say, hey, you know what? It's our time to shine. So the Owls advance. And then Dylan, what's the next game after this?
It is San Diego State versus UAB.
Yep, yeah, San Diego State. Again, they're in the tournament now. It's time to go. The Aztecs are going to win this thing. And it's Auburn, right?
Yep.
Auburn versus Yale.
Yeah, Auburn, yeah. The Tigers are going to roll. So Auburn advances. That one's easy. Illinois, I don't care who they're playing. That team cannot stop Illinois. Illinois advances.
Well, BYU Duquesne first. Did you
Oh,
do that
sorry. I'm with Dylan. I'm going to go Duquesne just because of the upset factor. LeBron James is high school coach, and he said he's retiring. So he's going to go out with at least one tournament win.
Keith Dambrot, I think, is his name. Former Akron head coach who lost to NDSU in the 2014-15 season.
Okay.
Fun little nugget there. Yep.
But like I said, the Illinois game, it doesn't matter who they're playing. Illinois is going to win. They're going to put up 90. The other team will not put up 60.
Washington State versus Drake.
You know, I'm going to go with the Midwestern kids. Give me Drake. Give me the Bulldogs.
All right. And Iowa State, South Dakota State?
South Dakota State's not going to be able to score enough against Iowa State. Iowa State advances.
Okay. And then now you've got UConn,
UConn and
FAU.
UConn's the best team in the country. They make light work at FAU, UConn.
And you had San Diego State versus Auburn.
I like the run Auburn's been on recently. They're scoring a lot of points. Give me the Tigers. I think there's something special brewing in Auburn right now.
Duquesne, Illinois.
Sorry, coach, it's going to retire for Duquesne. Illinois is too good. The Illini advance.
All right. Drake, Iowa State.
Again, this is going to be a battle, like Ethan said, a battle of Central Iowa. But Iowa State's rolling. They're too good. Iowa State advances.
All right. Now we got UConn versus Auburn in the Sweet 16.
I just UConn's too good. I don't think Auburn has the size to match up with them. The Huskies advance.
All right. And then Illinois, Iowa State.
Illinois' athletes they're too good. Iowa State's defense is not going to be able to slow them down. And Iowa State cannot score the basketball enough. So give me the Illini and the Huskies in the Elite Eight.
Okay. And then let's go down to the West region where it is UNC is the 1 seed here. And UNC, it doesn't matter who they're going to play, Howard or Wagner, UNC is going to win. But in the 8-9 game, we got the battle for MSU supremacy, Michigan State versus Mississippi State. Now, it is often referred to as January, February Izzo. That is not the case, nor has it been the case these last few years. I like Mississippi State to beat Michigan State. St. Mary's, Grand Canyon in the 5-12 matchup. I like the Gales to advance. They won the West Coast Conference regular season. They won the West Coast Conference tournament. I like this St. Mary's Gales team. I like them to avoid that 5-12 match upset and the Gales advance. 4-13 Alabama versus Charleston. Alabama's got a guy from North Dakota on the team. I'm rolling with the Tide and Grant Nelson. Alabama wins over Charleston. Clemson versus New Mexico here. I was a little bit shocked that Clemson was that high of a seed because, Grant, you and I last week, we were talking about how there's a potential that there may be only 2 teams in the ACC that get in. And it was going to be Carolina Duke. They end up getting, was it 6? 5?
I think 5. 5.
It was 5. And, I have one ACC team advancing in the first round, and it is not Clemson in this region. So give me the Fighting Richard Pitino's the New Mexico Lobos advance to the round of 32.
Well, Dick.
And then in 3-14, Baylor versus Colgate. I think Baylor has been playing well. I think they've found a little bit of that magic from that 21 season. I like the Bears to advance, setting up a Lobos versus Bears matchup in the round of 32. And then in the 7-10 matchup in the West is Dayton versus Nevada. And, like Ethan said, this Nevada or the Mountain West was probably a top 3 conference in college basketball this year. I think Nevada proves that. I like the Wolfpack to advance. And then Arizona versus Long Beach State, a team that Michigan lost to early in the year, which started the downfall of the Wolverines season. I think Michigan lost to Long Beach State, and I think Long Beach State loses to Arizona. The Wildcats move on. So back up to the top, we've got UNC versus Mississippi State. I got to go with the Heels. I don't think Mississippi State has enough offense to hang with the Tar Heels. I like the Tar Heels to go. St. Mary's versus Alabama. Again, I can't not go roll with the Tide. I'm rolling with Grant Nelson. And then New Mexico versus Baylor. You know what? It wouldn't be an NCAA tournament without a deep Pitino run. So you know what? I have the New Mexico Lobos and Richard Pitino advancing to the Sweet 16, honoring his father who was left out of the tournament. And then Nevada versus Arizona. I just said some very nice things about the Mountain West Conference, but I think the Wolfpack's magic runs out and they get taken down by the Wildcats. So back to the second weekend, top, UNC versus Alabama. I've said a lot of nice things about Alabama, but I think their luck runs out. I think Nate Oates' style of play matters, and Nate Oates is 3 or layup. I think this is where it comes to bite him in the ass again, like it did last year. I like Tar Heels advancing to the Elite Eight, and in this the other Sweet 16 matchup in the West, it's New Mexico versus Arizona, and I think this is any college basketball fan. When they saw Caleb Love transfer to Arizona, I think everybody was hoping thought this could be a possibility that Arizona and North Carolina match up in the NCAA tournament. We get that matchup to go to Phoenix, UNC versus Arizona.
All right. All right. Back to the top. North Carolina. It doesn't matter if it's Howard Wagner. Combine them, they're still going to lose. Mississippi State, Michigan State. I think this is a game where Michigan State can get out and run. Mississippi State has a couple big guys that are not going to be able to get back on defense, and that's where Michigan State excels. They've been playing a hell of a lot better. They went toe-to-toe with Purdue for 95% of that game in the Big Ten quarters. I'll take Michigan State. St. Mary's, Grand Canyon. Sorry, Sam, but Grand Canyon is not going to beat St. Mary's. Alabama, Charleston. I picked Charleston last year. They screwed me over, so we're going to Roll Tide. Clemson, New Mexico, same thing. I'm going New Mexico. I can't go against my guy, Richard Pitino. He's the GOAT. Baylor, Colgate. I picked the Fighting Toothpaste last year, and they lost, so we are going with Baylor. Go Bears. Nevada, Dayton. I am sticking with my Mountain West, and they are going to take Nevada. They beat, who was it? There's like a 7 seed earlier this year by 13 on a neutral court, yet they're 3 levels.
Or was it Texas A&M? No.
I think I sent you guys the
you
tweet.
did.
You're saying Nevada?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to find out.
It was someone who's in the tournament that's seeded way higher than them. I know that.
TCU.
That's it. Yes, the 9 seed, yeah. Again, seeding makes no sense this year. Arizona, Long Beach State, for another former Gopher coach who on Monday last week, they mutually parted ways after the season. Then he went and reeled off 4 straight wins to make the NCAA tournament. So makes total sense, but Don Monson will still not be coming back to Long Beach State. So this will be his final game there. On to the second round. Oh, I lost my spot. First big upset. I got Michigan State knocking off North Carolina. This is the big one. I am rolling with Michigan State. I think they are much better than their 19-14 record. Second, St. Mary's, Alabama. Alabama can score. St. Mary's is another top 5 defensive team in the country. So I am going to say St. Mary's can shut them down and slow them down enough, and they can score as well. So I'll go with that. I'm not drinking the Little Dick Kool-Aid as much as Dylan, so we're going with Baylor as much as I want to pick Mr. Richard. Can't do it. And then we're going against the Mountain West again here, Arizona over Nevada. So that sets up a couple intriguing Sweet 16s. Michigan State, St. Mary's. Michigan State's run ends. They are going out due to St. Mary's. They advance to the Elite Eight. And probably going to be one of the better games of the year of the tournament. Baylor, Arizona. We're picking Mr. Love, and he's taking his Baylor Bears to the Elite Eight. Or sorry,
I mean the
Wildcats to the Elite Eight.
All right, again, so my turn. We'll start at the top. Shocker, Carolina's going to roll. This game doesn't matter. Carolina with the not betting wise here, Dylan, take Carolina to cover and the over on the points.
Got it.
Michigan State, Mississippi State. I'm gonna continue to be a hater, like I was yesterday. I understand Michigan State played everyone in the non-conference, blah 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 blah. Well, just because you play them, I'm not going to give you credit. That's bullshit. They didn't win those games. They were 10-10 in the Big Ten. Hey, they played Purdue close. This isn't horseshoes or hand grenades. Coming close doesn't matter. Give me the Bulldogs. Hail State. Michigan State can go home because I'm sick of Tom Izzo because he's an asshole. What's that? I put my heart and soul into that team. What's the next one? Is it St. Mary's or is it Alabama?
St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon.
St. Mary's. Give me the West Coast Conference champions. There's a new king in the WCC. It's St. Mary's. Go Gales.
Now Alabama toothpaste. No, Alabama. Sorry.
No. Charleston seems like a great city. Basketball team. No. Give me the Tide and give me Nate Oates.
All right. Clemson, New Mexico.
I'm sorry to do this, New Mexico, but Clemson's going to advance because we're all picking New Mexico to win this thing.
That's how it works.
It's a clean sweep. There's got to be a 6-11, 5-12 upset. Give me the Lobos.
All right. Baylor,
Next
Colgate.
game, Colgate as a toothpaste sucks. Give me Crest. So Baylor wins.
Okay.
And then this
and
next
then we
game,
got Dayton, Nevada.
You know, give me the Flyers. They have a better. That's a better name than the Wolfpack. Give me Dayton University to represent.
Is that a shot at not Step Brothers? Crap, can't think of the name.
The Hangover? No, it is not.
Yes. Okay.
No,
just to verify.
It is not a shot at the Hangover here.
Okay.
Give me the guys from the Midwest, Dayton, Ohio, where the first four always used to be. Maybe it still is there.
It is.
It is.
Okay, good. Give me Dayton and representing the first four in this damn tournament. And then this next game, it doesn't matter. Long Beach, yeah, you have nice beaches. Go play sand volleyball after Arizona eliminates you. Go Wildcats.
Hey, they are very good at that.
Yes. So.
So you've got similar to me. You've got UNC, Mississippi State.
Yes. I live in a North Carolina house. I have to go with the Heels. This is just out of pure respect.
You're also wearing Smokey the Bear hat, which
I am also wearing Smokey the Bear hat. So
hey, it makes sense.
Yeah. So give me the Tar Heels. Give me the Tar Heels in this game. And then this next one, I'm with Ethan. I think Alabama, and maybe Dylan said St. Mary's, and maybe I wasn't paying attention, but Alabama.
I did not say St. Mary's.
They rely too much on the three. It's going to cost them. Give me the Gales.
Okay. Then we've got you've got New Mexico versus Baylor.
Well, this is simple. If a wolf and a bear were to get in a fight in the wild, the bear wins. So give me Baylor.
Okay. All right. Nevada versus Arizona.
No, I said Dayton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you did. Dayton versus Arizona.
That would be a great
7 versus 2
matchup, by the way.
It would. It would be an elite matchup. Give me Dayton. Give me Arizona. I'm sorry. They're Pac-12 Player of the Year. Caleb Love is on a mission. Give me the Wildcats.
All right. Now in the Sweet 16, you've got UNC, St. Mary's.
UNC. Again.
UNC.
Like
and
I live
then
in Carolina house. Got to represent.
Baylor versus Arizona.
Dylan, I'm with you. We get to match up the NCAA wanted. Pac-12 Player of the Year going up against the ACC Player of the Year. Give me Arizona.
All right. Now over to the South, we've got Houston versus Longwood. Houston's going to suffocate them, and it won't be close. Nebraska versus Texas A&M. Fred, Nebraska searching for their first ever NCAA tournament win. I think they get it. I like them to beat Texas A&M in one of my Final Four teams at the beginning of the year. And then in the Pardon My Take Bowl, Wisconsin versus James Madison. I like the Dukes to advance. I think Wisconsin got too hot a week early. I think they're gonna resort back to the time when they were playing Michigan. I like the Dukes to advance to the round of 32, and then Duke versus Vermont. Now Vermont has been in the tournament for the last 6 straight years here, and have yet to win a game. That changes. I like the Catamounts to upset Duke, and we get a JMU Vermont round of 32 matchup. And then
Dylan,
in the
big maple syrup guy.
Yeah.
maple syrup, yes, darn right.
Okay.
When you've had to eat as much pancakes as I had, yeah, I do enjoy some maple syrup.
You
So
should have bought him some of that maple syrup from the craft fair last year.
We really screwed that one up, didn't we?
Yeah.
damn it, you guys suck.
I got a bourbon.
do
maple
better.
syrup.
Do
None-
better.
None of that sugar-free bullshit either, right, Dylan?
Exactly. And yeah, no sugar-free bullshit, Grant. I agree. It's funny because my dad's over here. He was finishing painting my bedroom today, and I heard him just walk in, so maybe he could hear me. But in the 6-11 matchup, Texas Tech versus NC State. I think NC State, they needed to win the ACC tournament to get into the dance, but they're gonna get kicked out right away. Texas Tech wins, and then in the 3-14, Kentucky versus Oakland. Oakland's coach has been there for 40-some years here, and I don't know if he's retiring or not, but if this this could potentially be his last game because the Wildcats are going to win this one. And then in the Florida, Boise State, Colorado winner game, it doesn't matter. Florida, I like Florida to advance. And then in the Marquette Western Kentucky matchup, I like Marquette and Shaka Smart to advance to the third round. Can he get over that hump and get to that second weekend of the tournament? We'll find out here in a little bit. That's what we call in the business a tease here. So back up to the top. Round of 32. Houston, Nebraska. I don't think Nebraska has enough offense to score. I think Houston's defense just suffocates them. I think Nebraska can keep it close for a half, but in the end, Houston pulls away. And in the JMU Vermont game, I think James Madison's good enough to beat Vermont, but just because I really do not like James Madison from all the battles NDSU had and their JMU fans thinking NDSU and James Madison were rivals, which James Madison would have to actually win more than one game. I'm going to go with the Catamounts to advance to the second weekend of the tournament. And then Texas
No
Tech
sugar-free
versus
bullshit. No sugar-free bullshit.
That's right. And the Texas Tech Kentucky matchup, I like the Wildcats to roll. And then down in the final one, Florida versus Marquette. Shaka Smart looking to advance to the second weekend in the tournament since his magical run to the Final Four with VCU in 2011. I think he has to wait another year to get to the second weekend. I like the Gators to upset Marquette here to advance to the Sweet 16. So in this Sweet 16, we got Houston, Vermont, and this is where Vermont thinks that they got to cut down. They got to be a little bit healthier to be able to keep up with Houston. They're going to find out that their blood sugar runs low because they use that sugar-free bullshit syrup. And I like the Cougs to advance to the Elite Eight.
I just think they're better.
And in all SEC matchup in the Sweet 16 on this side, Kentucky versus Florida. Florida knocked Kentucky. Florida won in Rupp Arena. I think Kentucky gets revenge for that and knocks Florida out of the NCAA tournament, and we got a Houston-Kentucky matchup in the South region to go to the Final Four.
Whose logos are strikingly similar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
they
the
are.
letter, the
They are
font.
very similar. Yeah.
That is quite the epiphany I just had, Grant. I never thought of that until now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look at you go. All right. So Houston Longwood. Longwood is going to have a long night. So Houston wins.
Oh, good work, Ethan. I love it.
Hey, thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you. I've been thinking of that all day. Nebraska, Texas A&M. I wanted to pick Nebraska to go really far in this tournament because they've been playing phenomenal basketball. Yeah, that's
They got abysmal draw.
Yeah, they got one of the worst draws in the whole tournament. Wisconsin, James Madison. I drove through Madison this weekend. It is awful. I hate it. So we're going James Madison. Let's
go.
Duke.
Yeah.
That leads to Duke, Vermont. Duke wins just because I want a battle of the Dukes. And we're going to see who comes out. Texas Tech, NC State. I think Texas Tech could be a sleeper. Again, terrible draw having to face Kentucky second round. But if they're a very, very good team, probably one of the best coaching jobs in the country this year. Kentucky, Oakland. I don't care how many years the guy's been there. He's not beating Kentucky. Florida versus Boise or Colorado. Can't pick the Mountain West in this one. I'll take Florida, even though their guy broke his leg in half earlier this week.
Yeah, it was gross.
And then Marquette, Western Kentucky. It doesn't matter if Kolek plays or not. Marquette's deep enough team that they'll beat them. So if they have Kolek, great. If they don't, it is what it is. They'll still win. Back up to the top. Houston beats Nebraska. As much as I want to pick Nebraska, I just don't see how they're going to be able to contain Houston a little bit. Their guards are so uber athletic. It's nuts. Battle of the Dukes. We have the 12 seed winning. We have the good Duke
Yeah.
out on top. I guess not really a good Duke, but for basketball Dukes, it's good Duke.
The better Duke.
Yeah, the better Duke.
Yeah.
The better
What's
Duke.
the two evils?
Yep.
Yes.
Texas Tech, Kentucky. I mentioned it's a tough draw for Texas Tech. I'm going with Kentucky. They can put points up just like as much, if not more, than Illinois. So they're very tough to stop. And then Florida, Marquette. We're going Marquette. I think they're just too good offensively. Florida, I just don't think has enough offensively to keep up with them. And then Houston. Oops, we're going Houston, James Madison. It was a fun run, but James Madison is done. Well, that kind of rhymed. Look at that.
Wow, look at you.
Whoa.
Freestyling, baby.
Calm down. But Houston wins, and then the bottom half, Kentucky, Marquette. Kentucky wins. They are so freaking uber athletic. Reed Shepherd, phenomenal. Calipari. If this team plays defense this tournament, I think they are absolutely 100% the favorite. When they play defense, they are absolutely unbeatable. If he can get them to buy in for 6 games, I think this is the team that's going to chop down the nets. But we'll see if that happens or not. So, yeah, Houston, Kentucky, Elite Eight.
God, Kentucky, Marquette. That's a matchup of awful, dingy, gross cities / states.
Honestly, Lexington drove through that too. Super nice.
Oh,
I liked
okay.
it. Champaign, it's just as ass as the goddamn alcohol.
Champagne sucks, bro. Dude, that's such a shithole.
Oh,
It's just terrible.
Oh, it's awful.
the
I
drink
hate-
tastes good though.
Lafayette was nicer than Champagne.
Dude, driving through Illinois, when I went down to Florida, I wanted to, bodily harm myself, rip my eyes out. This thing sucks.
Don't
It's the worst.
Minneapolis. You will be fucked. Just
It
throwing
is
that
the worst state in the union. Yeah,
Oh, it's
Illinois
just-
sucks.
It does.
I hope our listeners in Illinois, the state of Chicago, thanks for Blaze at Fargo
Your
Rental.
gas
Hear
prices
this.
insane.
Oh, it's awful.
Outside of
Um,
Chicago, it was like $3.90 for 87.
Ugh,
Woo.
Yeah, it was steep.
gross. All right, well, I guess it's my turn. I don't care who Houston's playing. They're advancing. Go Cougs. Son of a bitch, guys. What's the 8-9 matchup in this?
Nebraska
One again.
A&M.
Nebraska A&M. Oh, I forgot to mention, they're going to get revenge for their AD leaving. That's another big one. They're playing with fire here.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that. The women got matched up too. Same exact game.
I did see that. That's hilarious.
The
I'm
committee
not
knows-
gonna, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This matchup sucks for me because I really despise both schools. So this will probably be one first round game that hopefully is on Thursday that I don't have to watch because if I'm watching it on Friday, Ethan is gonna make me watch it with him and root for one team. But you know what? For Fred Hoiberg, for the mayor, give me the Huskers. Go Big Ten. Give me Nebraska to pull off this win.
Yep.
All right, and then 5-12, Wisconsin JMU.
Again, I'm sorry to the people of James Madison, but it's a clean sweep, so the Badgers are going to win this thing. But give me the Dukes. Give me James Madison. What are they, 31-3 this year, boys?
31-3, yep.
Wins in the tournament.
31-3, that's incredible. Dylan, I
It's
think
a
you're
road win at Michigan State when they were top 5.
and Dylan, I think you're right. I think Wisconsin got hot a week early. They're going to lose their edge. Give me the Dukes.
Greg Gard's not a good coach.
No, he's not. And also, Wall is still on the Wisconsin team, so we have extra reason to hate them because he's there.
True.
The next game, Duke and
Duke, Vermont.
Fighting maple
Duke-
syrup drinkers.
Duke, Vermont. Sorry, Dylan, I cannot go with the maple syrup team this time. I'm going to go with the Blue Devils. Just a little. I don't like this Duke team, but I think just a little too much talent. And Filipowski, I think, is going to have a day. So give me the Blue Devils.
Which I guess he
there.
needs after almost having his leg amputated.
Absolutely.
The fact
Is he the
he's
first
playing-
one-legged player to play in the NCAA tournament?
That I can remember.
Okay. Anyways, the Texas Tech NC State.
5 games in 5 days. I like the Wolfpack, guys. I think they got some mojo going. They almost beat Carolina at the end of the regular season. They played Duke. They played Duke tough. They got something going. Also, I live in a house when the dog's name is Raleigh. NC State is in Raleigh. Give me the Wolfpack.
All right. We got Kentucky, Oakland.
And apparently on that note, I'm a big Raleigh Chapel Hill guy in this house, but it just feels right.
Man, outside of campus in North Carolina, Chapel Hill's a shit show.
Yes, it is. It's an awful city, but the campus is great.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky, Oakland.
Yeah, give me the Wildcats. This one's easy. Oakland, they're a school in Michigan, but you say Oakland, they should be in California. It makes no sense. Give me the Wildcats.
Are they close to
All right, we got
they check out?
Florida
I think so.
and the winner of Boise State, Colorado.
I like Florida boys. They're playing hot. They're playing good, like Ethan said, minus the injury. The Gators are rolling. I want to see the Gators advance.
All right, and then Marquette, Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Marquette, Sharpie, the guard play. They're too athletic. Western Kentucky, when they get off this game, they can go back and watch the rest of the tournament from the hill because they're the Hilltoppers. It's the worst name in college sports. Get them out of here. Give me Marquette.
All right, and then back up to the top, we got Houston versus Nebraska.
Sorry, Fred, but your run ends. I know you might be the mayor, but you're running into the governor of defense in Houston. Give me the Cougs.
All right, and then we got James Madison versus Duke. Battle of the Dukes.
Battle of the Dukes. I'm going to go with the bad Dukes here, boys. Apparently, I'm just a Raleigh-Durham Chapel Hill stan in this count. I think Shire's going to get revenge off last year's exit in the round of 32. Give me the Blue Devils to advance to the
Your
Sweet
right
16.
hand just loves North Carolina.
Ethan.
It does.
Ethan, do you know what Grant said when he got to the Carolina Ball? And where are we at?
Apparently, a big Carolina guy in this house.
NC State, Kentucky. Does the NC State love stay?
Sorry to my friends in Raleigh, but your run ends.
The dream is dead.
Yeah, Kentucky, they're too good. They're playing too good offensively right now. And unlike in football, where in the postseason I think defense wins you championships, in basketball when your offense is going, I don't think anyone can stop you. Give me the Wildcats.
All right, and then the Florida versus Marquette matchup.
This is going to be a close, tough game, but I think just the depth of Marquette's guards and how athletic they are takes them over the top. So give me the Eagles.
Okay, and then in the Sweet 16 we got Houston versus Duke.
Well, my love for the Raleigh-Durham area goes down one notch again. Give me the Cougars in this game. Give me the
Okay,
Cougs.
and then Kentucky, Marquette.
Sorry, Shaka Smart. Your fun is over. I can't trust you. Give me the Wildcats.
It's over.
But he got to the second weekend,
But he got to the second weekend.
according to Grant. So that wraps up the South. Down to the Midwest. Purdue versus Montana State or Grambling. Montana State was the 9 seed in the Big Sky this year, and got hot at the right time. Purdue, they are going to get a little bit of revenge off a 16 seed after losing 2-1 last year. I like the Boilermakers to advance. TCU versus Utah State. We Mountain West. I think the Big 12 was a little bit down this year, but I don't think it was down enough. I like the Horned Frogs to advance to beat Utah State. Gonzaga versus McNeese State. Now, Gonzaga has been in the tournament since the 90s. Since 1999 was the last time they weren't in the NCAA tournament. They haven't lost in the first round in, I'm not sure. I know they lost in 2013 to Butler in the second round game. I think this is the first time Gonzaga loses in the first round. Give me the Fighting Will Wades. McNeese State upsets Gonzaga. And then in the Kansas-Samford 4-13, Kansas is glimped into this NCAA tournament. It's not going to matter. I like the Jayhawks.
They're in a fucking wheelchair.
Yeah. And the 6-11, South Carolina versus Oregon. I like the Gamecocks. And Creighton versus Akron. I like the Blue Jays. And then in the Texas versus UVA Colorado State matchup. This is the first 4 matchup. Whoever wins this game is beating Texas. I don't think Texas is as good as what they were last year. They're a game away from the Final Four. I like the winner of UVA versus Colorado State to beat Texas in the first round. And then in the bottom, the 2 versus 15, rounding out the South, or the Midwest, Tennessee versus St. Peter's. St. Peter's made it to the Elite Eight 2 years ago. They don't make it out of the first round this year. I like Tennessee to advance to the second round. And then back up to the top, Purdue versus TCU. Purdue is on a mission. They exercised those first round demons. They got that monkey off their back. They're going to roll to a win again over TCU here in the third round. And then we got McNeese State versus Kansas. And this is where I think Kansas's injuries catch up to them. I like McNeese State to advance to the Sweet 16. And then in the South Carolina-Creighton game, I think Creighton's just a little bit too much. Creighton advances. And then in the UVA-Colorado State game versus Tennessee, the Vols, too much to handle. Give me the Volunteers. And in the Sweet 16, Purdue versus McNeese, I think this is where Will Wade meets his match in Zach Edey. I think Purdue takes care of McNeese State and gets back to the Elite Eight. And in the final, we got Creighton versus Tennessee here. 2 mid-major studs that are carrying their teams this year is Creighton versus Tennessee. And this is where Tennessee, over the last few years, has gotten into trouble, where they were, on paper, the more talented team. They didn't have that alpha go-to guy to get you a bucket. They do this year in Dalton Connect. And the Northern Colorado transfer, who I just found out today, was actually born in Fargo, North Dakota. And Creighton, they've got a transfer from South Dakota State. And North Dakota, I gotta go with the North Dakota guy. I'm going with the Volunteers to beat Creighton and set up a matchup of a 2019 Sweet 16 rematch of Purdue versus Tennessee just one round later.
All right. Back up to the top. We are going with Purdue. They don't lose to a 16 seed again. Matt Painter learned his lesson. Utah State, TCU, very tough one. Utah State, phenomenal team, but I'm going with TCU. I think their style of play is going to fit this tournament well.
No Mountain West love.
Yeah. I picked them last year. I'm going to roll with them this year. Gonzaga, McNeese State, I'm with you. I think this Gonzaga team is not that great. They have not beat many of the big opponents they played this year, including St. Mary's, like we talked about. Give me the McNeese State. I don't even know what their mascot is. It doesn't matter.
The Fighting Will Wades.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this is probably his last couple games before he goes to Louisville, and this time he has money, but it's legal.
Oh, God.
So
God. Oh, no.
It's going to
go. The ACC is in trouble.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, boy.
McNeese State is the Cowboys.
Cowboys. Okay, sure.
Fighting Will Wades is better.
Yep. Kansas, Samford. I don't even know who is going to play for Kansas. It might be the managers. So we are going Samford. I don't know. It's South Carolina, Oregon. This one was really tough for me because Dana Altman is a hell of a coach, and they just ran the table in the Pac-12, the final Pac-12 tournament. May I add that? But I think South Carolina is too good. They have a BJ Mack in the middle, some big mofo that just dominates, so he's pretty good. Creighton, Akron just stay in Ohio. It's not going to go well. Texas, Colorado State, Virginia does not deserve to be in the tournament, so why they are here, they shouldn't even show up. Nico Medved, potential next Michigan coach, Nico Medved, is going to get the win.
Yep, read that.
Tennessee, St. Peter's. I'm sorry, but the flock is not going to fly this year. Tennessee is going to beat them. The Peacocks, right, or something like that?
Peacocks, yeah.
Yep.
Gotta let me fly.
Yep. Purdue, TCU. This is where it gets a little interesting. This is a nightmare matchup for Purdue. All year, turnovers have plagued them. What does TCU do? They're long, they're athletic, and they force turnovers. If Braden Smith is not healthy, they 100% will lose this game. And honestly, he has not been healthy for 2 weeks. I don't think 5 days off is going to help him. He's not going to be healthy. I'm taking TCU. I'm rolling with the Horned Frogs.
Upset.
McNeese State, yep. 2 number 1 seeds done. Gone. See ya. McNeese State, Samford. McNeese State, Will Wade does his thing, moves on. South Carolina, Creighton. Creighton's too much. Shireman, too damn good. Move on. Colorado State, Tennessee. I really do want to pick Colorado State because when they play well, they can beat anyone. I mean, heck, they beat Creighton on a neutral court earlier this year in dominating fashion. Let me add. But I think Tennessee's just too good. Connect, too good. They'll move on. Sweet 16, TCU McNeese State, a classic 9-12 matchup in the Sweet 16. TCU wins. They got so damn close last year. Horned Frogs moving on. Creighton TCU. We're gonna get
You mean Creighton, Tennessee?
4 teams last year into the Elite Eight. Creighton's gonna beat Tennessee. I think their offense is too much. I don't know what happened with Tennessee in the SEC tournament, but my God, did they look terrible versus Mississippi State?
It's March.
Creighton is very similar to Mississippi State. They're long and athletic. Could cause trouble for the Volunteers.
All right. Well, we have all of our Elite Eight matchups set now. So let's go back up. Oh, yeah, Grant, never mind. Shoot. All right, Grant.
Wow.
Well, that's okay.
Wow.
I'm going to disregard Purdue's opponent like Dylan just did me. Purdue, easy.
Well done. Well done.
You're the only one that hasn't had a snarky comment, so you got to figure it out, bud.
Who the hell are they potentially playing in the next round? Who's this 8-9 game again?
Utah State versus TCU.
Oh, yeah. Give me the Horned Frogs, baby.
Moron.
Yeah.
Give me the Horned Frogs. Let's go. Jamie Dixon with a great set of hair. Go Horned Frogs.
Yep.
Give me the Frogs, baby. And then, I'm sorry, is this McNeese?
Gonzaga.
Yeah, sorry, Mark Few. You were cool 3 years ago. Will Wade is cool today. Give me the McNeese fighting Will Wades to win.
All right, Kansas Samford.
So the difference is Bill Self will be coaching this year, not some assistant. Bill Self has not had a heart attack yet. I think Kansas can beat Samford. The Jayhawks advance.
Who says he's not going to have one to act like, hey, my team sucks, I don't have
That's
anyone.
what I'm saying. Things can change, but as of right now, on Monday night, Bill Self will be there. Give me the Jayhawks.
He might go full Coach K, is what you're saying?
Or Urban Meyer. Oh, I can't make it. Oh, no, my chest hurts.
Oh, my
We got
God.
South Carolina versus Oregon.
I hit the portal for the Ducks in the football season. I'm going to roll with the basketball team. Give me the Ducks because they're playing hot right now. Give me Oregon.
Creighton, Akron.
Holy shit, guys. Anthony Edwards just legitimately buried John Collins. Like, just decimated him. His armpit was in his face. On a dunk. He got it to go.
I know I said something nice about Dayton earlier. I can't say anything nice about the state of Ohio 2 times in a show. I forgot who Akron is playing, but give me the Blue Jays. Let's go.
Dumbass.
Let's go. Yeah, for the state of Nebraska, getting 2 wins. God, that hurts to say. But give me the Blue Jays. And
all right, Texas versus Virginia, Colorado State.
For some reason, I think Virginia's going to win this game tomorrow or Wednesday, which upsets me. But Virginia will not beat Texas. So give me the Horns.
All right, Tennessee, St. Peter's.
St. Peter's, you don't matter. Go home, Tennessee.
All right, which is kind of disappointing because we could have gotten an all-Cox matchup here in the Sweet 16 if St. Peter's and South Carolina.
We got a massive Cox matchup tonight. Oh, God.
Can you imagine Iron Eagle? We're going to find out who has the bigger Cox tonight.
So, Purdue versus TCU, Grant. Who are you going with?
This is going to be a tight one, but I think Purdue learned its lessons from last year. Give me the Boilermakers.
All right. McNeese State versus Kansas.
So Bill Self will have a heart attack trying to prepare for this game. Give me the Fighting Will Wades to advance into the Sweet 16.
All right. Great minds think alike. You got Oregon versus Creighton.
Sorry, Oregon. It was a fun ride for this weekend, but Creighton is too tall and too athletic, and they're determined to get back to the Final Four this year after they almost got there last year. Give me the Blue Jays.
All right, and then a Texas versus Tennessee, a Rick Barnes matchup.
A Rick Barnes reunion, and a game that will be played in Charlotte. Rick Barnes' home state is North Carolina. Texas is the superior orange to Tennessee, but Tennessee has the better player and the better basketball team. Give me the Volunteers.
Okay, and now we got Purdue versus McNeese State.
Sorry, Will. It was a fun ride for these last 5 minutes that I promoted you, but have fun at Louisville. Purdue advances.
All right, now we got a Creighton versus Tennessee matchup here.
You know how I said 5 minutes ago you can't trust Tennessee because it's March?
Yep.
This is the weekend we cash that check in. McDermott is a better coach than Barnes. Give me the Blue Jays.
Okay, I believe you had Creighton going to your Final Four in the preseason, didn't you, Grant? Or Ethan
Yes,
did.
Ethan did. I can't remember who. I don't think I did, but I know Ethan did.
I had Minnesota too.
Well,
but Final Four in the NIT.
Still counts. Still counts.
Still a Final Four.
Well, and in like fashion, we also have a team that will not be making the Final Four that we all picked, and that is the Kansas Jayhawks. I do not foresee any way they make a run to the Final Four this year.
Who did I all pick? I don't even know outside of the three. Though. Who was the last team I picked? Was it
I
Florida
don't
Atlantic?
remember.
I think it was
Tennessee.
Florida.
Yeah, you had Tennessee, FAU, Kansas, and Creighton.
Okay.
So, back up to the East in the this Elite Eight matchup: UConn versus Illinois. And Terrence Shannon is the best player on the court in this game, but UConn is just a team that plays relentless defense. I think if there's a defense that's going to be able to limit him and shut him down, is the team defense of UConn and the intense Dan Hurley and whatever he drinks before, which kind of looks like piss, might be, might not. I like UConn getting back to the Final Four. And then in the West, we got our UNC Arizona matchup, a battle of RJ Davis versus Caleb Love. And there was a lot of issues on Carolina this year, and I think a lot of people are pointing fingers that Caleb Love was the problem in that locker room. They let him go, and this Carolina team has played much more well together. They have meshed a lot better. Give me the team over the individual. I like Carolina getting back to the Final Four here, and in Phoenix, where they won it the last time it was here. And over to the South, we've got Houston versus Kentucky. And what has plagued Houston these last few years is it hasn't been the defense. They have found ways, they have just suffocated you. They are all over you. It's 94 feet of hell. But I don't think Houston's offense is good enough again. And I think Calipari gets those guys to buy in on the defensive end. I think Kentucky's offense is good enough to get past Houston, and I like Kentucky making a return to the Final Four. And then in the Midwest region, we got Purdue versus Tennessee. And, I said Purdue was going to make the Final Four all year. And Tennessee, you can't trust them. And I still don't think you can trust them because I'm going to go with the Boilermakers. I think they are on a revenge tour from last year, and I think they get over the hump and make their first Final Four since 1980. So my Final Four teams are UConn, Carolina, Kentucky, and Purdue.
All right, let's do it. Let's get weird. UConn, Illinois. I'm picking Illinois, but it's not for Terrence Shannon.
Whoa.
It's for offensive rebounds. Illinois is top 10 in the country, over almost 13 offensive rebounds a game. UConn's not even in the top 50 for defensive
which is incredible.
It is. That's a huge thing. The amount of second chances Illinois is going to get and how many of those balls are going to be kicked out to Terrence Shannon where he can just knife through that defense, very alarming for UConn. That's a very big weakness right there. Illinois moves on. St. Mary's, Arizona. I just think St. Mary's defense is so good. They are right up there with Iowa State, Houston in terms of just team defense. I think they limit Caleb Love. I have St. Mary's going to the Final Four. Houston, Kentucky. I think Kentucky's, it sounds crazy, they're too athletic. Their backcourt is too athletic, too good. They hit too many good shots, and they're so deep. They are so good offensively, and they can bring multiple guys off the bench that can score. I don't even think Reed Sheppard started in the game where they went to Tennessee and beat them. So I don't think Houston has the offense to go. Shed is great. Who is their Baylor transfer? Cryer. Great backcourt. They're short. They're not the longest two, and Kentucky has length. TCU Creighton. Horned Frogs run ends. We're going with Creighton. They damn near made it for me last year. They're going to do it for me this year. I've been on that wagon all year. So my final four is Illinois, St. Mary's, Kentucky, Creighton.
Ooh, and no 1 seeds from Ethan
Not
in
even
his
a 2
bracket.
seed, man. Not even a 2 seed.
No, wow.
3 seeds.
Damn. But no, guys, I think in this first Elite Eight matchup in the East region, this is the game of the tournament. This should be the national championship game, if you ask me. If UConn, Illinois, I just think with the way UConn suffocates people and how they pull away, it's going to be too much for Illinois. In the last 12 minutes of this game, the intensity they put on Terrence Shannon is just going to put a little too much pressure on him. He's going to miss some shots, and UConn just suffocates. So I think the Huskies advance to get to Phoenix to try to repeat as national champions. And if I go to the Midwest, I got Purdue versus Creighton. I think this is when Purdue's lack of elite guard play catches up to them. Creighton's long, they're athletic. They're going to revenge last year, losing in those final seconds to San Diego State. Give me the Blue Jays and the Final Four. UNC, Arizona. Again, this is another great game, but I'm biased. I live in a Carolina household. I think when they're on, they're one of the best teams in the country. They can come at you 7, 8, 9 guys deep. I don't trust Arizona in the tournament, just like how I don't trust Tennessee. Give me UNC to make the Final Four. And then Houston, Kentucky. Ethan said it perfectly. Houston, sure, their defensive intensity is great, but they're not long and they can't score. Kentucky has length and they can score. Give me the Wildcats in the Final Four.
All right. That's that concludes. So we are down in Phoenix now, and in my first match semifinal, UConn versus Carolina, and UConn is basically like that boa constrictor. They just suck the life out of you. They crush your hopes and dreams. UConn will defend for 40 minutes. Carolina, their defense is not consistent enough for me to trust them to get them to win 6 games in the NCAA tournament. You got to take with what you know, and I know you're going to get 40 minutes of defense from UConn. So I like the Huskies to advance to the national title with an opportunity to repeat as national champions and be the first team to do it since the Gators did in 2006 and 2007. And then on the other side, they have Kentucky versus Purdue, and this is where I think Kentucky's athleticism and play, and I think the coaching. I think Matt Painter, who's been at Purdue for forever, getting in his first Final Four, I think he's going to be afraid. I think he's going to tense up. I don't think Purdue is going to get the calls that they get with Big Ten officiating, where Zach Edey gets boxed out and they call a foul on the guy boxing him out. I think Kentucky is going to be just like Ethan said. I think they're going to be way too athletic. And I like the Wildcats setting up a rematch from the 2014 NCAA title game, UConn versus Kentucky.
Ooh, that's a good one. So Illinois, St. Mary's. Illinois is not going to be able to rebound as well as they would versus UConn. St. Mary's is literally the best team in terms of rebound margin. They average 12 more rebounds than their actual opponent. That's big, but I think Terrence Shannon, his shot-making ability, just who's going to go guard Coleman Hawkins? Damask, I haven't even brought him up yet, led the Big Ten in scoring. So just the amount of weapons they have, and Damask is such an X factor. He's 6'9", or 6'8", something like that. Shooting guard / point guard. He was a power forward up until about 2 years ago. Then he started to be like a younger mini version of the Joker. Incredible player. Backs down, turn around. You can't do anything about it. Illinois goes to the national championship. Kentucky, Creighton, there might be 200 points scored in this game, like legitimately. Whoever gets the last shot, it's going to be one of those type of games. I'm going with Reed Shepherd in Kentucky. They are too deep. They are too talented. If they even play, like I said, a lick of defense, they easily could be the team that wins the whole thing. Going to the national championship, I have Kentucky over Illinois. I think their offense is that much better. This will be one of the better national championship games we've ever watched. It'll be just play after play, shot after shot, just incredible up and down. I think Kentucky wins it 93-88.
Oh, did we say that we were gonna pick our national champion? I don't think we did. Way to go! You ruined it.
Who cares?
Not this far. We got this far.
So I'm going to start out with UConn and UNC, and the love for the Tar Heels and the state of North Carolina ends now. The consistency that they have had struggled with this year, it's going to be too much for them. UConn is just a boa constrictor. Carolina's not going to be able to get enough stops out of that. UConn, they just look so dominant right there. No one's going to stop them. Give me the Huskies. And then Creighton, Kentucky. I think this is going to be an awesome, high-scoring game. But again, the athletes Kentucky has is just too much. And when they're on offensively, this is an NBA team. Nobody can stop them. So Dylan, I'm with you. We have a rematch of the title game. UConn versus Kentucky. 10 years later, for the national championship.
And just looking at the picture that you sent of the Edwards dunk, Ethan, oh my gosh.
It's
he like
disgusting.
teabagged him,
He
baptized him all in one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Watch the video. Like, it is insane.
We'll have to watch it when we're done here. But my national title matchup, UConn versus Kentucky. And, Cal's got the one national title. Hurley just got over the hump, got his one national title. And in the end, I still think defense wins championships. I still think UConn is that boa constrictor that'll suck the life out of Kentucky. I think they're the one team that can guard Kentucky and really frustrate them. So we had a repeat champion in the Super Bowl. We also are getting a repeat champion in college basketball. Give me the Huskies, and the confetti is going to be blue and red.
This is bullshit, Dylan. You literally took my take. Like, what the hell? All day I was thinking, hey, my Chiefs went back-to-back. Georgia went back-to-back in 21 and 22. This time we'll get it for college basketball. I'm rolling. No one's going to say this. And Dylan went first. So
that's right.
What else is there to say? UConn wins the Natty, and Kentucky's lack of defense finally catches up to them. Go Huskies.
That's right. So that is our bracket.